In this video, I'm going to be doing a review and a full demo of the iRobot Roomba i4 model, which is exactly the same as the i3 model, but exclusive to Costco. So let's get started. The i4 Roomba, exclusively made for Costco, comes with the automatic dirt disposal, the Roomba Vacuum, and a couple of extra bonuses. Along with the power cable, which I've already connected to my dirt disposal, you'll find two high efficiency filters, an extra dirt disposal bag which can hold up to 60 days worth of dirt. The bag also has this sliding cover, so as you're taking it out of the canister, it'll seal itself shut so that no dirt or dust can escape from it. And also a dual mode virtual wall barrier, which will keep the robot out of the places that you don't want to be cleaned by either creating a virtual wall or a halo. The i3 and i4 models also come with Wi-Fi features. Download the iRobot home app on your smart device and you'll be able to create new jobs or set up a cleaning schedule. Scroll down to history and you'll be able to see where and how your Roomba has been cleaning. To replace the bag in the dirt disposal, open the lid on the canister and slide the bag upwards and outwards, and then insert the new one using the guided rails until it slides all the way down, and then close the lid. To connect the power cable, I did have to flip it over so that I could get proper access to it, and then it also comes with this nice cord wrap. Once the dirt disposal is all connected, simply line up the sensors on the robot vacuum with the sensors on the dirt disposal, and you'll also see there's a nice place for the wheels to sit. Once the robot's in place, it'll take a few seconds for it to wake up, and then press the clean button and watch it go. The dirt disposal measures at 12.2 inches wide, 19 inches in height and 15.1 inches in depth. The robot vacuum measures at 3.6 inches in height and about 13.2 inches diameter. There is a sensor on top and also a light touch sensor around the front side, and this also acts like a bumper as well. And it weighs about 7.4 pounds, making it quite heavy. And the flashing red ring light indicates it needs to be charged.
Low battery. Please charge.
So putting it to the test, I tried out some fine glitter because I do have a lot of arts and crafts going on in my house. I also threw down some craft feathers and also tiny bits of paper. I also kept it very close to the stair because I wanted to test out the cliff sensors. I did stay in front of it just to make sure in case it did fall, I was prepared to catch it. But it did seem to do a really good job. It didn't fall at all, and I did try it a couple of times on the stairs and stood by it to watch it, but now that I'm comfortable and I know that it's not going to fall, I think I'm happy enough to leave it on its own. Tested it on a mat which had some curled edges on it, and it seemed to perform really well. It managed to climb over it. At one point it did get stuck on one of the corners of the mat, but it seemed to untangle itself and it made its way back. The other thing was, since I was doing it in the ironing area, the iron wire was hanging down and it did get tangled in there, so just be careful if it does get tangled into a wire that's hanging. It's most likely going to pull the object down and could also potentially ruin the robot vacuum. Since the dirt disposal is downstairs and I carried the robot vacuum upstairs, once it's completed its cleaning, it'll make a sound and a solid white ring light will turn on, so I don't need to worry about it trying to find its way back home from upstairs. When checking how well it cleaned, it did unfortunately miss one of the feathers and some glitter specks were still left on the carpet, but it did clean up all the pieces of paper. And if I flip it over, you can see that the bin is pretty full and you can see all the small pieces of paper in there as well. And because of the rubber rollers, there are no bristles in there, so there's no hair or anything that's going to be stuck in the rollers, which is definitely one of the great features of the Roomba. And if you're new to my channel, do consider subscribing. I bring out videos every week where I review household appliances and also tech gadgets. I also tested it out in a bedroom where I do have a lot of furniture like chairs and desks and bed. I wanted to see how well it would be able to go around each of the furniture items and clean as much as it can. It did a really good job. It worked its way around almost everything without getting stuck. and it even found its way under the bed and was able to find its way out of this. This is one of the biggest features I like about the robot vacuum, is it definitely helps to clean underneath these heavy items that you just can't move all the time. You can just send the robot underneath and it'll just clean all the way to the back of the edge and against the wall where you just can't gain easy access to. So the Roomba had no problem climbing onto the mats in the kitchen, and it was able to clean underneath the cupboards as much as it could get under. But I did find that it just kept going onto the same side over and over again. You can see that it just constantly keeps staying onto the right side and it's not cleaning the left side. So I ended up having to pick it up and turn it around, and I tried to get it to clean the other side of the kitchen, but again it just kept going back to the same side. So in the end I picked it up and I put it down and I switched it on to spot mode because I wanted it to clean this area. That's when I noticed that the cupboard is a little bit lower, so it couldn't actually reach under there. So it still managed to do the spot cleaning, just couldn't get in all the way to the end of the cupboard until it got off the mat, and then it was able to slide and get into the edge of the cupboard. Of course, no fault to the Roomba here. So in the app, in settings, the cleaning pass is default set to automatic. You can set this to do only one cleaning pass rather than 2 or more, and that should speed up the cleaning time a little. Although I still felt like it was still going over the same areas more than once. So I'm not sure if that's a software glitch or if it's just that because I was watching it so much that it felt like it just kept doing the same area over and over again. So once the cleaning was done, I wanted to send it back home, so I manually pressed the home button and it started looking for its home, but it took a really long time, and I ended up having to pick it up and move it a little bit closer to the cleaning base just so that it can get there quicker. It just kept going round and round in circles and it just couldn't find its base. I think it took almost 8 or 9 minutes until the red light came on telling me that the battery was low. So the thing to remember here is that the Roomba will perform better if it starts off from its base. It will be able to know when its battery is running low, and it will reach home and recharge itself well before the battery runs low. In this instance, I think I picked up the Roomba and I put it in the room that I wanted it just for the purposes of making this video. But I have run it from its base and let it just wander around the house, and it has actually gone back to its base well before the battery was low and has recharged itself and then resumed its cleaning once it's fully charged again. And it does make a loud sound when it's emptying its bin. It takes about 13 seconds for the sound until it starts to go into charge mode. Press the spot mode if you want to clean a certain area, and it will spiral outwards about 3 feet and then back inwards again. And since we have a pet parrot in the house, the virtual wall is definitely a bonus for us. I can just pop this down where I don't want the Roomba to go. And sometimes I find that the Roomba is just bouncing from room to room, especially where there is no door in the way. So I like to use the virtual wall just to stop it from going into the other room before it's cleaned the first room. Let's talk about cleaning and taking care of the Roomba. First of all, these 2 sensors need to be cleaned regularly so that the dirt disposal base can detect the Roomba once you've placed it on there. Sometimes if you find that your dirt disposal is not working, it's probably because it can't detect the sensors. So make sure that these are cleaned, and also the 4 cliff sensors and also the floor tracking sensor. Here is the edge sweeping brush. Depending on usage, this should be cleaned at least once or twice a month. And to replace it, you'll just need to open the little screw here. To clean the rubber rollers, you're going to pinch in this clip a little towards the left and then lift it up, and then you should be able to just pop out the rollers and then clean everything that you see around it. So here you can see I have some hair gathered here. Give it a wash if you need to, and the same with the other roller. Before putting the rollers back in, open up the bin. To do that, push this button with the trash can icon on it and it'll pop open the bin. And since I've already used my dirt disposal to empty my bin, you can see that it's 99% empty. I can hear a little rattle in there. So give that a good clean and a wash, get rid of all this dirt around it. And then here is the filter. To change the filter, you'll just slide it off and then pop in the new one. Whatever you do, don't let the filter get wet. So the reason why you didn't want to put the rollers back in is underneath where the roller area is, you can see a little hole here that connects from the roller area to the bin. You might just want to give that a wipe down as well. If you do wash the bin, make sure that it's completely dry before you do attach it back. Just hook in the right side first and then slide it in until it clicks into place, and then insert the rollers. Now if you're not sure which way the rollers go, they've actually color coded it for you. So the one in the front is the light green and the one in the back will be the dark green. So you'll just need to slide it in following the arrow and then pop it in. The biggest feature of the robot vacuum has got to be its rubber rollers. I think they work great because it's not bristles. There's no hair or anything getting stuck in there, and it's much easier to clean out. And then make sure to secure the clip down. And then lastly, the front wheel, you'll need to pull on it really hard until it comes out. And then the small wheel inside the housing, just push it from underneath and you should be able to pull the wheel out. Give that a good clean as well, and then pop that back in. In case there's any hair or anything stuck in there. And then give that a good clean and pop that back into the hole. I wanted to test the battery run time, so with the Roomba on a full charge, I set it to work and it cleaned an area of 29 square meters, which is about 312 square foot. And it took 1 hour and 21 minutes before it had a low battery and it went back to its charging base to charge itself. So if it took 80 minutes to clean a 312 square foot area, a 1000 square foot area could take up to 4 hours or even more to clean. That's a really long time for a small area. So from there I just cancelled the job because I just wanted to see how much battery time it would have on it. And this i4 model that's made exclusively for Costco comes with a 20% larger battery, so I would have assumed that it would have a longer battery run time. So if this is only running for 80 minutes and then going back to recharge itself, the i3 probably has a shorter run time. If anybody has an i3 and they do want to share with us in the comments below, please do so. And if you have an i4 as well, do drop me a comment below because I'd like to know if you're getting a longer run time on your battery. The dirt disposal is definitely worth the money. I think this will save a lot of time cleaning it, especially because the robot vacuum has such a small bin. You're going to be constantly emptying it out more or less on a daily basis or whenever you use it. Whereas with the dirt disposal, you can just let it empty itself out, and like it says, it holds up to 60 days worth of dirt. So that definitely is a good investment to make. My final thoughts: if you have a lot of money, a lot of time and a lot of patience, you're going to love this machine. Otherwise you're going to feel like you're just going round and round in circles and nothing is getting done. Anyway guys, I hope you found my review and demo useful. If you do have any other questions or comments, please do leave them below, and I hope to catch you in my next video.